Hey you folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to Let's Try News Tower. This is an early access business strategy slash simulation game about running a newspaper in late 20s, early 30s New York. I think it's got tons of character, it's got a really interesting vibe to it, and it's been a lot of fun to play. It is an early access, but everything feels really kind of slick and clean about it. Looks like they're really focused on increasing content with this, which I think is a really good sign, hopefully for the entire product. Let's go ahead and jump into the new game. Now, I will say this introduction, which is a tutorial, but also a backstory, is quite good. And even if you feel that you don't need a tutorial when you jump into the game, if you pick it up, I would definitely recommend doing it because it tells actually quite a fun little story that I think you should definitely see one time. So we're going to get this loaded in. The first thing it's going to do is ask us for the name of our newspaper. I like these little postcards. A lot of the backstory is told through these postcards as well. With our pockets light as a feather, we had to start from the bottom. We built a ramshackle newsstand and sold others newspapers. But paper by paper, we started to build our own story. We called our newspaper the Quillian Quotidian. Boom! Done. 3 cents for a stamp. Excellent. And yeah, this sort of like flat kind of Art Deco style. Is that right? I don't really know, but here is our office. So I'm going to go and pause the game so we can look around here. So we've got our entrance floor over here for office, which we don't interact with. And then we've got our first empty floor over here. We've also got the ability to add more floors, which I'm going to do right away because I'm sure we're going to need a second one immediately. So it's going to be $1,000 to add this extra floor to the building. If we want to add more, however, the cost definitely goes up. $2,500, and then I think it's $5,000 for the next one, and so on and so forth. We've got a starter money over there. We can also take out some loans, which we'll probably do to accelerate things as we go. So the flow of the game is going to be thus. First, what we're going to need is we are going to need telegraphing stations. So these telegraphing stations are what we use to find leads about stories. We sort of, have some tip lines open or something like that. This is how we find out if there's something going on in the world. So let me go and drop those. I'm actually going to drop it on the second floor over here for reasons. You can see here, actually, there we go. If I turn this off. Oh, no, I guess when you're placing, you always get the noise or the, what do they call this? The comfort view. I hadn't realized that. I actually quite like to run with this comfort view filter on all the time because it makes it very easy to see what kind of issues you might have going on in these buildings. These telegraph machines are very loud. They are generating some negative comfort over here, so the people working in and around these areas might get unhappy because of the noise, but we can counter that. Now, I will say this, we are probably going to want 3 of these telegraphing stations pretty quickly because we want to be able to find stories as quickly as possible. But let's go ahead and start with just these. Now, we need a way to get to the second floor, so we're going to go ahead and add some stairs to the building as well. At some point, we will also unlock elevators. But we'll put a staircase maybe right next to the front door over here. We'll have it cross over this way. That's going to be fine. So that is the first step to finding a news story. We're also going to have to hire some people, but let's get to that in a second. The next step in the news story is going to be reporters' desks. So this is where reporters will actually sit. And once a story comes in, we will be dispatching them into the world. But until they leave, they're going to be sitting at their desk. Furthermore, the desk can be enhanced with a variety of objects to make them work a little bit better. There's a little shortcut here, very handy for build accessories, but also sends us to this category here. So the only build accessory I currently have is a globe. This will add +1 level to society research. It also buffs our telegraphers by 1 level. So for example, on our telegraph stations, if we give these guys a globe, they will have +1 level, and therefore they will find the stories a little bit faster. And if we've got a society research reporter, we're also going to want to give them a globe at that point. Let's go and slap down another desk over here to get ourselves started. And then, yeah, we'll be doing some moving around. Now, after we find out about a story, and after a reporter's gone out and compiled a story about it, they're going to have to come back to the office and get it ready for print. So under production over here, we have a typesetting desk and an assembly table. So first, the story, you can actually see the art over here, converts a report into a text slug. These are old-timey little printing things, right? I guess they're taking, I think these shelves have the actual, like, little wooden or metal stamps for each letter, and I think they get assembled into this, which is presumably the story, and then the assembly table is probably where you arrange it on a page. I actually don't really know the process. Let's start with one of each. We're going to need to scale this up pretty quickly, but we're going to go and get that started. Let me go and put them further back here. The reason I'm putting the assembly table on the ground floor is when the reporters come back, they have to deliver it there. Or the reporter's desk could be on the ground floor either as well, because they do have to walk out. The telegraphers don't really have to walk in and out. So lower to the ground, things like the typesetting desk is good, and you want the assembly probably not too far from that. And then the reporter's desk, I think there might be some flexibility, but maybe closer to the ground is quite good as well. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of foot traffic coming in, and travel time is definitely going to be something you want to optimize around. We'll see. So for now, let's go. I'm just going to space these guys out a little bit here and a little bit here to get started. And then what we're going to do is we're going to figure out where things are going to move. We're also going to need one more floor for our printing, but we're going to go and wait until we can wait a little bit before setting that up. So we need some stations, some people to work here. So if we click here, there's 3 different categories for our staff. We can access that through this hiring screen as well, but there's a handy shortcut over here. I gotta say, the user interface in this game is pretty good. There's one issue. There's not even an issue. There's one thing I would like to see. Maybe if they can find a solution to make it a little easier, would be very nice. We'll get to that in a second. But a lot of the UI is quite good. So this telegraphing station, it also highlights the telegraphing skill. So these are all the possible production staff over here. And we can see that Mary Griffin and Christopher Green both have 1 level in telegrapher. So that seems like a good idea. We're going to go and slap you in there. And Christopher, we're going to go and put you at this telegraphing station over there. While we're at it, we may as well look at these stations. So both of these have 1 level of typography. No one has a level in assembling. What we're going to do is we're going to hire Henrietta over here. I'll do a reroll. There we go. So we do have a limited number of rerolls for the week. I just wanted to find someone with typesetting experience. Aubrey actually has a level in typesetting, or assembling and typesetting. Sorry, I meant assembling over here. They're all the same salary though. I think when people have 0 skills, they come in at 50. I guess maybe if they're only level 1 skills, they come in at 70. I guess we may as well get Audrey just because you've got more than 1, even though we really only need the assembling, because I don't think they're going to take different positions. Okay, and then we're going to need some reporters. Now, the reporters are quite interesting because here, unlike production, right, everyone's got 3 skills. But in practice here, they're only going to use their typesetting, or they're only going to use their assembling, or they're only going to use their telegrapher. With reporters, it's quite different because we're going to send reporters out to cover a wide slew of stories. So they're going to have 3 different skills, and it might be relevant. Now, going forward, maybe people become hyper-specialized, but certainly early on, they're going to be generalists. What we would like is some reporters where they don't overlap in skill. Actually, if we look at Ruth and Anthony over here, it's quite ideal because they have no overlap. Ruth has got crime, economy, and entertainment. Anthony's got politics, society, and sports with no overlap. I think it's just the 6 categories as well, so that's kind of ideal. And actually, these 2 also don't overlap with each other. That's quite nice. Now, obviously, there's some overlapping between those, but we actually might go and grab these 4 quite quickly to have maximum. But let's pick up, what was your name? Ruth and Anthony over here to get started. I mean, you know what? We'll have some more options that go. All right, so we're ready to get started. We would like to make this a little bit nicer, though, because here, these employees, if I click on you and go look at condition, so what's going to happen here is their comfort level is going to drop while they're in this area and getting these bad thoughts. We can counteract by having them spend time in areas with positive comfort as opposed to negative comfort, or, you know, we could just eliminate some of the negative comfort in the first place. Very handy. If we do click on the little noise icon, it automatically brings up the building screen with the comfort page and with all these categories minimized other than the noise counter, which currently we're limited to just acoustic panels. We will be unlocking more of these. We can also see little symbols to see what gets countered. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to move this telegraphing station in the corner. Maybe I'll give you a little tile. You know what? I'll give you 2 tiles over here because we could fit something in there later on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an acoustic panel just off to the right of it. You can see the sound drops to almost nothing. And then let's bring you in a little closer and do this as well. Still a little bit of a noise complaint over there. If we spread these guys out a little bit more, is that going to get rid of the warning? Not completely. I suppose what I could do is move you out 1 more tile, and we could flank you on both sides with some acoustic paneling. Maybe that's going to be our solve over there. There you go. The other thing we could do, which would help with some of the noise, is we could have each one of these little telegraphers' desks in their own room with, you know, by putting a wall with a door in between them. That might help to muffle things, but it looks like we're maybe okay over here. Now, that got rid of the negative mood. It would be great to still boost the mood positive. So if we go back to comfort, we can see a variety of things. So again, we've got a bunch of counters for various effects. if there's a problem. But, oh, and these places will generate some trash. So this isn't going to do anything by itself, but as people work, they will generate trash, and that will lead to negative comfort. So we can give them all a trash can to get started. Maybe these guys over here too. Let's put one beneath everyone's desk. That seems okay. The general category here is just a general boost to comfort all the time, which is great. Let's give them a clock. Everyone wants to know when quitting time is coming. That's going to make them feel good. We'll do the same thing over here. So already we've got positive number. And the thing is, I think this is going to be good enough for now, because as far as I know, the only thing that matters, like if the comfort bar is full, we're good. And you'll see the brain is in green for maximum concentration. I don't think we can boost it in more than this. So as long as we've got a sliver of green everywhere, it'll counter any random stuff that might happen. Now, we will get a few other complaints that come up over time. So first of all, they will complain if it gets dark. So let's give them some little moody ceiling lamps. There. Say there. And we'll give you something over here. Not a very nice office right now, but we're trying to be a little bit minimalistic. Well, we'll get to printing in a second. I want to show wallpaper. There are a few options. I've got just the standard wallpaper over here where nothing happens. There's also this pink stripe, which I think it costs us money per tile, but I don't think it actually does anything other than looking nice to you and I. Some of these do something though. For example, this tile background reduces smell. This is going to be quite good in bathrooms, which we're going to have to set one up relatively soon. We've also got this industrial background of just brick, which is good for heat control. I guess it's just, I don't know, better insulation, or maybe the plain brick wall is cooler, so it's sucking more of the heat out. There's a bunch of different categories, and again, there's printing we're gonna have to set up, but let's go and get started for now so we could show off some of the story stuff. So we're running at normal speed. You can hold down the fast forward button over here. You can also hold the right key. We can see our telegraphers are currently hard at work. And what's going to happen here on the globe is they're going to find some stories. So these little light bulbs are showing that they're researching stories. There are 6 more items to research this week, not very many the first week, which is why I'm not bothering putting down the 3rd telegraphing station, because I don't think it's going to be needed, although we'll see. We can also focus on a particular category, but for now there's not really any reason to do that, although I could. So Anthony exceeds at politics specifically, and Ruth exceeds at economy specifically. So we could focus on those and hope we get those stories, because we do have the 1 extra skill for it, and that might make some amount of sense. All right, we got our first story on the globe. Actually, first 2. We got a crime story, and we got a interesting, a split story. So Capital Fire is our story, and this has got a path. There's 2 different ways we can approach the story. We can look at it from a political point of view over here and visit the damaged office, or we can look at it from a society point of view and look at it from outside of the US Capitol. It automatically filters the list of reporters over here to the ones who are able to do the job. You can also, if you want, if you click on a particular skill, it'll filter the list to specifically show that skill and sort by that skill. Anthony over here could take either route, but he actually has 1 level in politics, so I think he's going to take the political spin over here and visit the damaged office. So we're going to go and drop him in there. So this one here is a detour, so it's only going to be 1 route versus the other. Are you okay, Senator? And we start to see the headline and tagline start to develop. So Capital Fire, we need better rules against smoking inside, says Senator. So we got a quote right away from this, and Anthony's going to take 18 hours to develop the story. Both a combination of presumably some amount of travel time and actually talking to people, and so on and so forth. So we do have the game paused right now so we can explain, but of course you could do this all in real time. We've got a story that has a split again of both economy and crime. Recession on the loose. So we could visit the Institute of Business and Labor or the police archives. Well, again, Ruth over here, and this might not be the most exciting way to pursue it. In my other run, I really focused on a lot of the crime stories because I thought that was the most fun. So we'll probably see what we can do to get some crime reporter experts relatively soon. But Ruth is going to take a pretty dry route over here. There's the Institute of Business and Labor, Recession on the Loose, Economic Hardship Hits Working Class Hard. This story has a single tag, single keyword, which is economy. As we go forward, we're going to get stories with a large number of these tags, and these have a variety of effects. Okay, so we got that started. Now, what's happening now, our telegraphers are... telegraphers? Anyway, these guys over here are busy with the story. Until the story is completed, all the pickup, this line is in use, so we can't develop another story. So it may actually make sense. And you know what? Let's try it right away. We're going to go and set up a 3rd telegraphing station. Now, I actually can't do more than that. You start with a limit of 3 of these stations at the start of the game. You'll notice there's an infinity symbol for most things, but some stations have a limited number. So we've got that. We're going to go ahead and get, there we go, Mildred over here has got 1 tick in this. So we'll start some extra research going. We'll need extra reporters to be able to run those as well, but that's okay. Now, while that's happening, we're going to let the game run. I will go and add a floor because we're going to start working on our printer. So I'm going to take this door. I need to go over here. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but we can get elevators later on. Sorry, I dragged the wrong thing. I want stairs. And I'm going to drag it over this way rather than central. And the reason for it is I want this to be my printing floor, at least for now. We might decide to change our mind later on. But if we go into printing at the bottom, so for printing, we need an input module. I wonder, can I do it the other way around? Normally I was doing it left to right. Let me pause here because we got another story. But it might be better to go this way if this works fine. We need that. We're going to need an output module as well. And then we need the printer page module. This lets us print the actual page of newspaper. Now, I'm just going to slap one of these down for now. And yeah, make sure there's at least 3 tile gap in between so we can do some noise abatement. And then we have to run a conveyor belt throughout the whole process over here. So paper feeds in here. This is what prints the actual page. This is what folds the newspaper as an output. We're going to have more room for more printer modules. I do have 1 more left in stock over here as well, but I strongly suspect, you know what? I guess there's no reason not to just slap it down. What the heck? Let's go and do that. Ooh, let me move it 1 tile over. Put a 3 gaps just so that it's enough for the noise abatement in the middle. Now, and actually we might want to do more than that now that I think about it. Because, yeah, hold on. Let me move. I suppose for now I can move everything over quite a bit further, but I just want to move this one a little further away from the door because you can see the noise and the heat is actually flowing down each level. So I want to put an acoustic panel over here. There we go. We're no longer getting noise complaint for going down the stairs, but we still got a lot of heat complaint. It's also quite loud up here. If any worker has to come into this room, and there will be someone that comes in here later to load paper, they will certainly be complaining about these various effects. So I'm going to try to mute some of the sound, although it's still loud. And too many of these close together, you do get some diminishing return, but I don't have really any option for the noise management right now. So you can see for temperature control, we've got both heat vents and small fans that are available. So we'll go and put some air vents. Maybe what I'll do is build what looks like almost a wall of air vents over here. And then, yeah, you can see the bars go down. Maybe 1 over every machine. Just conceptually feels pretty good. Still a lot of heat complaints, though. And that includes going down the stairs. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put a vent right above this staircase. There we go. You're complaining about some noise here. There we go. We'll dampen that noise a little bit. The green's also not overlapping to there. You know, let's give you an apple painting. We only have the 1. But let's put an apple painting in this room. That'll keep everyone here pretty happy. Got a noise complaint going all the way down to the bottom, huh? I think that's still trickling down these stairs, which is just crazy. Put an acoustic panel over this doorway. All right. Got rid of the negative indicators, except for here. This room's always going to be hot and loud. And honestly, I'm not convinced there's much we can do about that at all. Maybe spread some things out. Oh, whoa, hold on. I forgot. One thing we can do to help with the temperature control over here is the industrial background here. We can also put up some cool signs, but it does cost money, so I'm not going to right now. Okay, we're still good right now. We are going to get some more complaints from our people for various reasons, but I'm going to deal with those as they come in. So we got another story here for sports. However, we don't have an extra reporter kicking around, so I will go and slap down 2 more reporters' desks. Here and here. And we're going to go and hire. We're just going to hire the last 2, including someone with a level in sports, which is nice. Excellent. And let's get ourselves just an extra, maybe just an extra clock over here. Just so you have some green. We're going to have to do more. Also, you're going to be complaining about the lack of light. So we'll go ahead and do that. Actually, we'll put a light here and here so no one has to walk through a dark area. I suppose there's no light on the top floor either. I'll try to make do with just the 3. Okay, and we're nearly out of money, so that's great. Okay, click over here. We're going to assign Ella Mason. Boston Bruins win. NHL record, 14th straight game. Cool. I wonder if those are pulled from real history at this time. So it is January 1930. I don't know. All right, so now we've got kind of nothing to do. Now, the stories in progress, you can watch them over on the right-hand side, and we can see how they're progressing. Currently, this is on the reporting stage. It's predicted to take about 1.5 days, now 1 day, to finish the entire thing. I think that's not just reporting. I think that's the entire process is being figured. But there we go. 2 of the reporters did just finish, so the telegraphers over here are back to work looking for a new story. They've been freed up. This one here is still busy monitoring this Boston Bruins thing. And our reporters are back home. They have a story. So they're going to bring the story over to this typesetting desk. But what we're going to run into here is the issue that we've got 2 stories, and this can only work on one at a time. So we're going to scale up our production. We're going to add a second typesetting desk and hire yet another typesetter, so that both of these can work on the same time. And we'll need a second assembly desk as well. They're idle for now, but we may as well go ahead and get that hired, assuming I've got the cash. I mean, just barely, but yeah. So we'll get another typesetter's desk, and we'll hire... sorry, not typesetters. Well, that was a waste of money. I'm going to sell you. I suppose I could have just stashed it for later. Another assembly table is what I want. And I want to hire Ella right over there. Okay. So now we can process 2 stories at a time while having up to 3 stories being researched at once. So there's still maybe a little bottleneck, but it's going to have to do. Oh, the Quillian Quotidian has a new publisher. You don't say. Well, we better report on that immediately. Let ourselves be the story. And then over here in Dallas, we've got a parade. Okay. Now, sometimes what will happen is we'll not have newspaper or reporters available for these stories because they're going to be busy with another story. It does happen. And, you know, you can take a look at what requirements and maybe optimize around who you assign where to make sure you don't kind of box yourself in. I think we are going to have to take out money because we're going to have to buy paper to print our issue here. Now, that's going to go to print on Sunday. And we're burning through these stories way too fast. I think we would have been fine with just 2 of these desks right now. There's just not that many stories available this week. Another story coming in. Both these typesetters are currently working, so this extra story is just going to sit in the inbox currently. And another story. Ooh, crime. Museum display empty. My gosh. So we'll visit the field museum over here. Rare raw crystal looted, says conservator. Alrighty. Now, if we take a look, we should be seeing some new needs show up here. Bathroom, food, or water. So that is going to start to dip down. We might want to go and get ready for that. Let's start with the food situation first. So the water cooler counts as a, again, sort of quote-unquote food. It's, you know, obviously water, not food. But it did say food and water for the need. I'm just going to move you over a little bit. Oh, we can see some trash accumulating over there, too. So we're going to put down a garbage bin. Currently, we don't have anyone emptying these. We will have to get some maintenance going on, but... Okay, there we go. These typesetters are currently not busy, although new stories just came in. Perfect. Newspaper is going to be available. All right. What are we, Thursday? There's going to be no more stories coming in. No more stories coming in. There are no more available for the week. So the rest of all of our journalists, all of our reporters are just going to be completely idle. But the office as a whole is still working, moving some stories around. There we go. That's the one done in the inbox. It's going to go into assembly right over here. And it is now Saturday, and we have completely finished everything over here. So yeah, I think I overkilled it, but that's okay. It is now Sunday. We are a Sunday newspaper. It's time to roll the presses. You do have all of Sunday to keep working, and the game will auto-pause right at the end of the day for your last chance to put everything together. But we may as well work on printing now, because why not? So we're going to do our layout. We've got the ability to do 2 separate pages, which is great. We have exactly enough stories to fill all that, so that's going to be fine. This section over here is worth twice as much. It's more of a big headline one. So if we had a story that was worth more for some reason, we'd really want to put it here. This is our above the fold major headline. The way it'll work is we will sell more newspapers. A, the more stories we have. B, also based on their tags, as well as a few other mechanics. Now, these are all bronze level stories right over here, so they're worth 1,000 a story, period. If we go and put a story, so if I put it down here, it's going to be worth $1,000. Or, sorry, it's going to sell 1,000 copies. It's currently, we're charging 20 cents per. So it's going to be there, so it's going to be $200. If I put it over here, this is worth double, so it's going to be worth $400. Now, you can also get points if you have any combination of keywords. I think on the first day, it's guaranteed to have 1 story of each type regardless. So there's no way for us to build combos, which is going to be over here. But we also get no negative tags or anything like that, just the starter day. So it doesn't matter, I think, on this first day, where we put anything because we're going to get the same amount regardless. Oh, and there's what I was saying. The game just paused to give me my last chance to print. So we've gone and laid out our newspaper. That's good. We're going to start this printing, and we are going to go. I guess our printer starts fully loaded on paper. That's interesting. So it's not broken, it's got power, and it's full of paper. But we're going to have to go and make sure to get paper going forward. If you don't have any paper in your office, you will pay an emergency fee to fill your paper, or presumably get some extra power or do emergency repairs on it, but it's more expensive this way than handling it naturally. Go! I wonder if the sound should be louder. That's a very nice bell that rings when that goes off normally. We sold 7,000 newspapers. You get some responses to it. Good. Sports story might you want to run off to Broadway because of our art story. Lovely. There's our price. Sold. Sales revenue, no ad revenue, no hidden agendas. And then we get a list of our expenses over here for our employees. And yes, it's gone up 100%. I mean, it's gone up infinity%, really. And loan interest. We did take out a little bit of a loan. But you know what? It's pretty cheap. Paying $10, that's nothing. Of course, that will go up pretty dramatically as we go forward. Now, we get a whole other aspect of the game opening up. We get our map of New York here. This is our current office there. But we want to be able to expand. Now, what we can do is we can expand into these regions. I actually don't know. I don't know if expanding to a region increases the number of papers sold. I'm not sure that that's actually a mechanic. But it does give you influence points. It also will continue to expand this chart. So, for example, it's going to be quite helpful to us to reach some of these buildings, like the courthouse, which lets us hire lawyers. The stadium here, which gives us things like, for example, the sports clipboard over here. This is a add-on. This is something we can put on the wall next to a reporter's desk, which will make them better at covering sports stories. It also unlocks certain comfort items like different plants, new nutrition options like the gumball machine, and so on and so forth. Now, the earliest one we'll probably pick up is this Mafia hideout. They work very differently. So the backstory, generally speaking, is that the previous owner of the newspaper got themselves deeply in debt with the Mafia. So we're going to have to be a little bit involved with them. But they will give us some special missions, and some very interesting special missions once we unlock them, to run certain types of stories or not run certain types of stories. And they're willing to pay quite a lot for this extra service, as well as give us a bunch of influence. But if we accept to do something and then we don't do it, they can get quite mad, and they can send some enforcers over to your office to break up your machinery and intimidate your staff. Now, I'm going to go and try to expand into Williamsburg, so I'm going to select this district. To expand here, we got to run a newspaper. We got to run articles about crime and sports. Just one of each will unlock Williamsburg. It doesn't even have to be done in the same week, although ideally we'd like it to be done in the same week if we can, just to be able to expand as quick as possible. So we accepted that as a mission. And yeah, later on we'll also be able to accept a Mafia mission, but we don't have access to that right now, so we'll just go ahead and confirm. So we know we want crime, and we know we want sports. So what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to make sure to set a focus to try to increase the chance, the priority. So we're going to look for those stories first so that we can make sure to get them fully processed and ready for this week's paper. There are up to 8 stories out there. We know we can only fit 6 in our newspaper with our current layout, but that might have to be fine. The ones that don't get completed do stick around for the next week, although they do get a penalty for being old news, and it gives us a little bit more flexibility for what sort of combos we might want to make. But yeah, so right now the next thing to do for expansion might be, well, it would be nice to maybe get another page printer, but that is currently locked. I don't know if there's any way for us to quickly find out how to unlock more of those. Like, for example, we are currently out of telegraphing stations, right? And how do we get more? Well, I happen to know from noticing it on the map that if we go and expand our reach over this radio tower, it gives us the ability to unlock the 4th, 5th, and 6th telegraphing stations. But I actually don't know where to go to get extra page printing. I could probably just keep clicking through here. Assembly. Oh, there you go. Industry City Harbor. More page modules. So that's handy. All right. So that'll probably be kind of the expansion plan. Maybe we'll stay in our current borough. We're in Brooklyn, right? I don't really know New York. But we will expand down here, reach this Industry City Harbor, and it's also conveniently on the way to this radio tower as well. So that might be kind of nice. So there's our mission. We can shrink this down to get it out of the way. But otherwise, yeah, we're just going to keep things going the way we have been going. We've got a little bit of money, which is great because, yeah, some people are definitely going to have some extra needs. Let's get an extra water cooler. Well, first thing I'm going to do is build a bathroom, actually. So let me move this for a second out of the way. We're going to build a bathroom over here for our employees. So toilet here. Now, it is stinky, so we're probably going to want it to be behind its own room to help limit that. And then this smell can be offset by a few things, including, say, a sink. And we can put a mirror on top of it. I guess it's going to keep some cleanliness. And there we go. And then maybe we'll throw a little fan and a vent in here. You know, that seems reasonable. There you go. Eliminate all the stinkiness in here. So no one's going to get any negative thoughts from being in this bathroom. Now, this could be countered by then going and being in a positive thought area. But let's start with that. All right, let's pause. Horse fires. Okay, there's a couple of different routes available. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check the other stories. Nope, that's okay. I'm going to check the other stories here. It's just letting me know that we're still occupying this telegraphing station, if we believe. And what I want to do is see if there's any one of these stories that only has one option, because we want to make sure to like assign people to that before we go and split them up. Now, we know we need to run a crime story and a sports story. So we might want to do the crime here, although currently we don't have anyone with that skill. We do have someone with the economy skill we could send into here. This also had a crime aspect, which actually has a second tag for alarming, which is very exciting. However, if we take this top route, gusty winds hinder firefighters, this top route will actually lead to a sub-story over here, which will add more tags. So in the end, if we follow the top part, this story will have a society, an adventurous, and an inspiring tag. And that might open up more combos. Although again, here we've got the alarming. Did we have any double tags over here? No, that's all single tags. What about the sports story? All single. Tell you what, let's do the sports because we know we need one. So we're going to send Ella down to there. Take care of that. Done. And then over here, well, let me do this crime because we know we need to do a crime. And here there's just one tag each, so that's okay. So Ruth or Steven, what I'd like to do, I think, is take this top route. Okay, so that's going to be Anthony. He's the only one with society research who's not currently busy. So we'll throw you in there, take this top route to get maximum things. And then over here, we'll go ahead and do the crime story. So doesn't matter. No one's got any particular skill for crime. So we'll go and assign you over there. Good. All right. Get that started. That's lovely. So this time, oh, we do still have paper in the machine, apparently. Yeah, 61. Although, depending on how many issues, we may end up having to spend some emergency money to fill it in. What I'm thinking about here is I think we might put in a paper order to do that. So if we're going to do a paper order, we can order paper over here. Let's order a medium delivery of paper. 200 extra, I don't know, reams of paper. I don't know. I don't work for a paper manufacturer. We'll get a delivery over here. Now, the paper is just going to sit out on the front stoop. To move it into the building and to move it into places that need it, which includes the toilet, which needs paper for some reason, we go into utility, yeah, the resupply desk over here. So let me just put down the resupply desk, say, right here, and hire someone to work there. So Nancy's got the supply skill, Roland as well. They're both cost the same. Yeah, Nancy has literally no other skills, so we'll get her put in there, which is not going to feel as bad. Done. We're also getting some paper accumulating over here, despite the fact that we do have some trash cans. So it seems to me that we probably need a sweeping station. So we'll put down a sweeping station over here, and we'll hire someone to work there. No one's got any sweeping skills, so no, we'll pick up Roland now. So they're going to go and pick up the paper and keep this area neat and tidy. There we are. We can see them take care of that for us, which is great. There you go. There's our restocking person picking up the paper, and they're going to go and deliver it to the machines or the bathrooms as needed. We will also be able to build these storage cabinets so that excess paper and stuff and food as well, when we do a food order, will get stored in the storage cabinet instead of sitting outside. I actually don't know if there's a penalty to sitting outside. Maybe if there's still stuff there at the end of the week, it goes away. I haven't actually ever experienced that, but I think for now we're going to be okay without having to do that. There you go. One of the stories is being delivered. Oh, so this is actually where I was sort of. Let me pause. If you keep a sharp eye on the right-hand side, we'll see the little exclamation mark over here letting us know about things. But I do find that there's a few parts of the stories that it's not always obvious and it's easy to miss. So I actually spend, as we go forward, I spend a lot of time with this sheet just open and sometimes double-checking these stories to see how things are developing. All right, so we reported the fire. We're going to go and check out the fire truck as well here and get some extra tags for this story, which presumably is going to make it better. There you go. More newspaper reporters are coming in here. And our telegraphers are going to be looking for more stories relatively soon, although I think one just went for a restroom break over here. Staircases, they take a lot of time. Having things split by floors is really not ideal, but I mean, you've got to do it at some point. All right, Steven, you want to go and check out this heist of an officer building? This is a joke. I don't know, what was this about? Right under our nose says irritated spokesperson. So we got 4 stories being processed, some of which, only 2 of which are by reporters, and the rest are currently in typesetting, but this seems to be okay. I think we've got a good ratio. Again, we can currently only print 6 stories, so we're just looking for a best one. Oops, someone needs a bathroom break. Take a look at your condition over here. Yep, that's getting quite critical. We only have the 1 restroom available. We're going to want to probably change things around so that we can have maybe 2 of these toilets in this 1 room, but there's not quite enough space over here. I might have to wait until we get another floor, and which might move some things around. Maybe we put the toilet on this middle floor, for example. Probably going to want a second one of these water coolers as well, maybe on this floor over here. Perhaps I'll do that now. Employee needs, or a water cooler right there. There we are. Excellent. A couple of boxes of paper still left, but they're still being processed. Oh, there we go. Food supply dangerously low, although I don't have enough money for it, so we're going to have to take out another loan. Oh, breaking news! Employment rises. The employment numbers are out. Our Department of Labor says 1.5 million extra workers lost their jobs since the beginning of the recession, with no end in sight. But hey, tragedy sells, right? So we have a breaking news story we're going to want to try to resolve as quickly as possible. So if we complete this, it's a 2-part story, like double economics over here. And if we do that, it'll unlock that economy stories are going to be the hot stuff. And so we'll sell extra stories, extra papers. So we'll send Ruth to handle one of these sides right away. Steven has got 4 hours left in this report. We're going to try to get them on this other side over here to try to complete this so that we can sell extra stories. And then this is to unlock society or economy as being a high thing. So let's focus on economy. The gun here was in red. There's no more crime to research. So whether or not that was prioritized, no, doesn't matter. But we're going to prioritize economy because the hope is we can find more economy stories since they are the hotness. Going to get some extra food resources as well. And then what I'm going to do is, oh, see, there's another economy store. Do I want another economy reporter, economic reporter? I kind of do. Do we have room for you? We might. Right here. Might not be the greatest table, but going to have to do. There you go. Dorothy over here has a level in economics. We've got Vera as an option as well. But let's do that. Let's deploy you here immediately. And then what we're going to do is wait for, I think it's going to be Steven over here. Because I want to get the economic side. There you go. Steven, do that. More economic story. And we've got new film on Broadway. We can send Ella over there. Good. Okay. Oh, there we go. So this story here actually gives us a new item. This gave us a crime board in addition to being a story itself. And a crime board, and I like the new tag to show you there's new stuff. Crime board boosts your crime reporting skill. And if we grab it, it'll actually highlight every desk. This is great UI. It'll highlight every desk where there's a reporter who can do crime work. Now, we might want to end up doing some hyper specializing later. Actually, wasn't this highlighted a second ago? Let's go and do this. And that. So these 2 reporters can report on crime. So we'll give them each a +1. Actually, you do society research, and you can do society research. As can you. So we'll give you each a globe right now for the +1 level. The level has, as far as I know, it doesn't have anything to do with quality. It just reduces the amount of time it takes to research the stories, which is incredibly valuable. There you go. So we finished both sides. So now economy is this week's hot topic. That is now unlocked. And otherwise, yeah, the stories keep ticking along. There's 2 more stories to discover. No more economic ones, though. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if we have it focused or not. The next stories will be found. There's a second story in New York. It's the sports one over here. Decade's first world title fight. So we're going to send Anthony over here, although he's got a slight lack of focus, which isn't ideal. You're slowing down. Is this your desk here, Anthony? No, it's not. Huh. Oh, I'm realizing people might be getting exposed to a little bit of negative thoughts walking up here into this bathroom. Also, it's dark in this bathroom. We'll get a light on in there. A little bit more green, so people are passively regaining things. A little bit more paper, a little bit more water. Stories are coming in. These are both processing nicely. Yeah, no indicators everywhere, so we'll just go and fast forward some. Oh, new story. Another entertainment story. Now, if we do send the same person out over and over, you can see the blue tick. This is their +1 level from their items. You know, then they can get level ups in a category. So, you know, trying to specialize people does make a lot of sense. Although it's still nice to have the flexibility from doing multiple things. Like, so because you're going to need people in different areas. Okay, it is Sunday. We're not going to print until the last minute because we're going to try to finish as many of these stories as possible to give us as many options as possible. We'll have to remember, we want to print at least one crime, at least one sports. We do get an icon here and a tooltip letting us know we've got a story in the drawer ready to go, which is great. It'll also tell us that as we go into a new week, if we have any old news around when we're picking our little quests on the world map, this one over here, it'll let us know if we've already got a story in, you know, in the drawer. Again, you get less money from something that's an old news, which is a week late. If something, after the second week, that story goes away. It's just too old to even consider printing. So these food packages aren't being brought in. I should have done minimal, although I don't think these are full. Doesn't look like it visually. So maybe there's still going to be another pickup. I mean, the person from this desk over here is on the move. All right, last chance, we must print now. So again, the game has paused. We got our hot stories over here. So these are worth double, and presumably they get quadrupled over here. Let's see, if I go there, 400. Yeah, it makes sense. Base of 200, except it's 400 from the hot stuff. Okay, so it just adds one extra multiplier. So this is being tripled over here instead of doubled, but that's fine. We could put a second one of these on the front page, which then we're getting ourselves our tag combo under operations, which is good. If we had another economy story, we'd put it in here as well to get another tag combo. And we'd love to run it because it is the hot stuff right now, but we don't. Now, let's figure out, we do have a couple of crime stories. Now here, even though it's got a bigger area, it's not a multiplier. These are the same, but we can get 2 crime over here. We know we have to put at least 1 sports story. So let's go and put this one in here, because this is going to satisfy this district. You can see all the green check marks, and we got room for 1 more story over here. Let's take this one, maybe with all the tags. I think is going to be worth more, because I think, yeah, bronze tags each one, so we're going to get more bang for a buck by just running more of these tags. Or we could consider keeping these in case we get a quest that wants adventurous or inspiring. And I think, if we look at the world map, I think we can see ahead of time what they want. So crime and sports, we could consider keeping some of these over here. And I guess it does, okay, this does add subscribers as well. That's what happens when you expand into these areas. So it is quite nice for some extra sales. But I think I'm happy with this printing. We're going to do that. Oh, we didn't have enough paper, so we're going to have to supply some more. 247 paper we've got. We do spend some extra for it, but so be it. Let's get that going. Unemployment on the rise. 14,000 newspapers sold. Record sales. Personally, I've never committed a crime. That sounds like something a criminal would say. So theoretically, we're now going to have some subscribers giving us some regular sales, regardless of what goes on. But we completed that. We got ourselves a little bit of influence, which is groovy. Our expenses are going up, but that makes sense. Still, overall, our profits should be okay. We're paying a little bit more in loan. So the more loan you take out, not only do you owe more, but the interest rate goes up as well. Nancy has just gotten a 2nd level in resupply. I wonder if you carry multiple boxes or just move around faster for that. All right, we now have access to the Mafia. I knew your uncle very well. I'm saddened by his sudden disappearance. I hope nothing happened to my business associate. Invested a lot in your business, you see, and it's time I see some returns. Everybody can print a good story, but not printing politics this week might pose a challenge. I don't want these so-called leaders fear-mongering your readers. So we are going to get a bonus for not printing politics this week. We're going to get 4 extra influence and $500. And if we did print politics as well, the Mafia would be upset. So that's going to be the goal. We're also going to look to expand. Now, we could expand over here to Long Island. We would need a tragic story, an unrest story. So these are not primary categories. These are subcategories that can happen on a story, and you get a hint as to where you might be able to find them, which is really cool. But we'd also need a silver tier statistic story, and I suspect our ability to find that right now might be a little difficult. So my plan, I think, is to expand to East New York, which just needs a bronze crime that is alarming, or, well, I mean, any alarming story, really, but crime and economic stories could be alarming. And then we could plan again to expand into Flatbush, reaching the Industrial City Harbor, which gives us the option of maybe getting more page modules, and keep working towards the radio tower for more telegraphing stations. That seems like a relatively easy idea. And again, this is going to be a pretty easy category for us to satisfy. We are getting the warning about no paper. We're going to buy a big stack of it. So crime and economy are most likely being alarming. And we've got no politics. What I could do is I could literally set a priority on everything that's not politics. Like that, just to try to make it so that if there are political stories, we're going to find them last, so we can focus on everything else first. Ideally, we might want to focus specifically on crime and economy to increase our chance of finding an alarming story as early as possible, which seems like maybe a good idea. So we're just going to focus on those two until that has hopefully been satisfied. And we're going to go and shrink these bad boys down. And yeah, we put in the food order, or the paper order. I noticed this person's complaining about the food need, but again, the water cooler counts as that for satisfying it, which is okay. We got some blinking lights. Paper delivery has arrived. And we're going to start doing some hauling. Yeah, no paper. Again, so you can do the emergency fund to like buy your paper when you need to print it, but it is going to cost you more, so it's not entirely desirable. There's our first crime story. It'd be great if it was also alarming. Well, okay, let's pause here. So it's actually, the first level is actually going to need society research to do. And then it splits off to the top branch here, which would be politics with unrest. But we're actually going to be avoiding politics. So we're definitely going to go down the bottom route over here. But still, first, we've got to do some society research. Now, we have 3 people who can do it. Let's take a look at what other story popped in here. It's another crime one. Ooh, which happens to be alarming. Okay, there's no overlap. None of these guys do society research anyway. Tell you what, Steven can do politics, and we're going to be avoiding politics anyway, so we'll put Steven on this job. And then over here, yeah, I don't know. We'll throw in Anthony just at the top of the list. Why not? Check out that story. And again, we're going to want to take this bottom branch later on. We got another story. Ooh, more crime. Okay, we'll throw you in there. Tell you what, we've got enough crime. I'm going to remove the focus here. We're looking for... we've got our alarming story already, which is a crime one. So we were prioritizing crime and economy because we wanted to find the alarming one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and say, we're going to turn on focus on everything other than politics. If there's a politics story, find it last, because we'll probably just save it for next week. We've got some stinky over here, and we need, I think, a washing station to go and clean this room. I feel like we need to add another floor to this. Let me just put a washing station here. We're going to need to do a reorganization. And Gilbert over here has a level in cleaning, so we're going to do that. Gilbert, I believe you have to go there and clean this. This place is also out of paper, which is no good. But that's why we've got someone coming in to haul some paper into the base here. The office. Pan over so we can keep an eye on everything. There we go. Some cleaning is happening. We do need a second bathroom. Oh, there you go. We've got an advancement over here. So now we're going to have to pick a route. We're going to go down the bottom route over here, except that I don't have a crime person ready to go. Although Steven is just delivering the report now. There we go. So we'll do that. Now, there's going to be a lot more things that happen. As we go and progress down some more of these things, we're going to find people who... Ooh, what is this symbol? Investigative. Nice. It's a silver tag, too. That's going to be worth some extra money. We're going to find some of these locations have certain issues. Like, some of these locations, investigate them, have a risk of upsetting the Mafia. Some of them have a risk of upsetting the police, who can give you fines. Some of them can get you hurt, and your reporter will spend a few days in the hospital. Some will create protesters that will show up at your office and complain about things. In my other game, my main game, I've had requests from the Mafia to run fake stories that are outright lies, for example, and so on and so forth. There's so much that can happen over here. It's crazy. So this is a political story. We're going to go and research it. We can always keep it in our back pocket for next week. Again, it'll be old news, but at least it can run. I wonder, do I need a second hauler over here? Wait, I can move the paper? I can manually load this stuff? Well, that's news to me. I wonder if that wasted any, because it looks like... Oh, no, it went over... I didn't know I could manually load this stuff. Oh, that's fantastic. Maybe I don't need the paper loader then. Maybe I could free up a work site. I don't know, some amount of automation is good. I didn't realize that. Okay, that's going to save us a lot of time. Yeah, a bit of a queue for the toilet, but that's at least been dealt with now. Okay, new paper reports coming in. Ooh, another crime story. Lots of criminal activity this week. So this has already got... Oh, no, it doesn't have a political tag. This has just the defeat tag. That's interesting. They didn't have a story category. So I guess I'll throw you... Actually, I'll use Steven again because he's got the politics tag that we're going to try not to use. So effectively, we're treating Steven as if he only has 2 tags this week, really. So we'll have you go down there. We'll get some more alarming stories, which will let us build more combos as well with our stories. That's good. And more development over here? No. Why am I... Oh, I can do both sides of this. Oh, this is a huge story. Oh, I thought it was a decision, but no. You got that. What about sports? Yeah, so only one person can cover the sports, which is Ella. Okay, so it doesn't matter who we're sending. We'll send you there. That is a big story, but I don't want to run it this week because it is going to have the politics tag. I don't want to upset the Mafia. Okay, those stories are being completed. There's 2 more to be found. Society research. Gas explosion at coal mine makes 3rd in a year. Oh my. There we go. Throw Anthony in there. And that's our last story for the week. Oh, which is going to unlock a new item. Cool. I think we're going to come back with a poster, which is going to be good for entertainment's research. You know what? Let's just order some... Well, I guess we're good on the machine. All these slots are full. I don't know if there's a way to get a... an overlay for how much paper is in here, other than when I was dragging the paper, but I'd basically filled all those up. So I don't think I need to order more now. I don't think there'd be anything to do. Okay, a little more cleaning going on. I'd love to do a big reorganization here. We can move things around for free whenever we want. So what I've tended to be doing is when my gameplay, sometimes every Monday or maybe every second week, is before I start anything as a pause, and then I move everything around. You can stash things as well. It shows up in this category over here. So you can just go, like there's the stash here, so I could do that. I don't know if there's an option for this. It might be nice to have like okay, stash everything. I want to do a re-clean, but if it doesn't, it's not actually a big deal. Okay, let's go through the end of Sunday here. Last few stories. Everything's been, oh, no. Oh, I have to accept this for the movie poster. So now we could build those. Go. There we go. These 2 people over here both do some entertainment coverage. So we can give them those movie posters so they have a +1 level going forward. And again, research a little faster. Just get to the end of Sunday. So we actually haven't finished doing all the stories, but that's okay. We'll have, again, we can't fit everything anyway, so that's going to be fine. Again, we know we want to print no politics and we want to print the crime in this, but this story here, oh, this does have politics. Yeah, that's the big one, but we're going to have to sit on it because it would be worth tons of money. Tons of money. $2,000 by itself, but would upset the Mafia. So yeah, we're just going to keep this in our pocket. I'll run this one. It's got a lot of tags, silver tag as well for double value. That's nice. And then if we can combo it with these symbols. So it's got crime, it's got alarming, it's got society. It also has investigative, but we don't have any more of those. Here's another crime alarming story. These are the old news. So this is a negative tag, so it'd be worth negative money here. And if we don't use them, then they do go away, and then we're not going to be there next week. But it's not the end of the world. We have another, oh, crime and society, so that's another double combo over here. So this is actually a really good front page, I think. Worth $3,600 by itself. No complaints there. The East New York is fully satisfied, and again, we haven't upset the Mafia yet. What can we build as a combo on our second page? Maybe we run some old entertainment stories. At least they would have the combo. And then I could run something fresh with no penalty, or we could burn this last one. I think I'll just let this one go, and then we'll put in a little society research over here as well on the second page. All right, that seems okay. Start this. Yeah, emergency fee. Just not enough paper. I think maybe we need to bring more paper. Maybe we can load more paper into the machines, as it turns out. But that's okay. We'll spend the $500. We should still turn a decent profit, but maybe the paper on shelves gets used as part of the printing. I'm actually not sure. Still figuring that part out clearly. There's a headline: banker kidnapped. New record sales. Society honors its living conformists and its dead troublemakers. And they really did research like never before. There's our silver investigative. They think that's great. Good money. And yeah, we've got a few extra sales from the subscribers. There you go. Satisfied. East New York is open. We want nothing but success for you and your paper, see? This way your debt will be cleared in no time, see? Just a man of business, as your uncle knows. I'm just a man of business. Yeah, we did that, and we got more influence as well. Expenses went up, not by very much as a percentage, though. And our income went up a fair bit, so that's good. Our employees are developing. Now, as they go up in rank, we do pay them more, but they do come out to be pretty good. We've got some new connections, including the ability to reach the police station and purchase things, like the magnifier book stand, which will give us better ability to deal with crime. We can also unlock the coat hanger, which is just a generically good comfort improvement to boost a fair number of things, which is nice, including the prestigious star, which is not yet implemented. And then we could also unlock the security booth here, which will give us the ability to deal with any mafia types that show up at our door to smash things. In fact, I'm going to go and unlock the security booth so I know for sure we have it available should something happen. Other than that, I might get the magnifier book stand because it'll give +1 level to our reporters that are doing crime. Maybe I'll get the coat hanger as well. You know what? I like all those. I can't get the Persian tapestry right now. That's okay. What the mafia people want? Ooh, they want some alarming stories. They're going to pay $500 as a bonus for every alarming story we run. Cool. Visitors and Pexy cop houses get hold of those dossiers. The city has the right to know about these crooks and their dangerous business, don't you think? Yeah, it's the cops you got to worry about. Flatbush, we do have a sports and a crime story in our back pocket ready to go. Of course, they're not going to be fresh, but that might be fine. We want to look for a tragic story if we can as well. Likely to be fine in crime and society. Okay. So what I might do is I might say, listen, let's focus on crime and society early on, please, to do that. Also, we need to do alarming stories, which are an economy. So again, we're going to prioritize those just to try to get those stories detected as early as possible. We're also going to go ahead and order a bunch of paper ready to go. We do have a lot of money sitting around. Could pay off some of our debt, although I suspect, if anything, we might go into debt more to get another floor. But right now, we seem to be in pretty good shape. And yet, we've unlocked some new items, like our magnifier book stand. So if we bring this out, we can see, there we go. You are doing crime research. You are doing crime as well, so we'll give you both a little plus. Yeah, you've got the crime board already. So these guys are getting +2 levels. Doing multiples of the same object doesn't stack, but different objects does. So Steven's got 1 baseline crime skill, but he's getting +2 over here from the objects. Same situation is going to be for whoever this is. Ruth Gray. There we go. She's actually at a 0 still with that, but because I think she's done more economy research, but that will come as well. In any case, that's going to minimize how much time they have to spend doing this stuff. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap it up here. A little bit of a gist about how the game goes. Excellent showing text. Oh, yeah, you're working on these stories still. Which, yeah, do have all the old story tag, including this one. This is still going to be worth a lot, though, with all these combos, which is going to be fantastic. It's also alarming, which is good, because, again, we're getting bonuses for doing alarming stories. So that's going to more than offset the old news, plus all these combos and all these tags. Just great. That's the thing. With more tags, the story by itself is worth more money, but it's also easier to generate multiple combos. So, anyway, still in early access, but clearly done nicely. The UI is nice. Again, my only thing is that sometimes I was having problems noticing when a story needed more input. You know, it does show up over here, to be fair. And again, you can click on the globe. And I found it easiest to keep the globe view open. While it was an actual work day, I would keep the globe view open and usually do this just to see if any issues were popping up. I still don't know if there's a way maybe to like do this better. You can even route these through floors. So you can have like your printers span multiple floors, which I think is going to be important as we add more and more pages to this. I haven't reached this yet for more pages, because we could support a 3rd page of the newspaper very easily. And we actually even have enough room over it here, although I suspect something more will have to be done for the paper handling job, which might include the shelving within. I suppose what I could do is, if nothing else, when I put the storage shelf in, if I put it near the printer, I can still manually drag everything maybe onto that, and then our employee can just be responsible for continuously loading things in. But it looks like I can do it manually, so I am wondering about the importance of the resupply desk in and of itself. But I don't know. Still some mechanics I'm learning. Anyway, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.